Hello everyone, my name is Arjun Vaish and I'm from the School of Computer Science and Engineering. I'm going to present my final year project on the topic of machine learning for asset wealth management. The thought process behind this particular project is that a lot of people who are new to the stock market are afraid to enter it because it seems very daunting and there is a high risk associated with it. Also, people who are already familiar with the stock market sometimes would want to wait to reaffirm whether the decision they are taking is correct or not. The thought process behind this application is to cater to both these types of target groups. We know that technology is evolving at an exponential pace. In terms of machine learning and artificial intelligence, there are a lot of models currently which provide stock price prediction capabilities. So the goal of this project is to create a web application with the latest techniques to predict stock prices. We make use of not only machine learning techniques, but also sentiment analysis techniques to gain a clear and a wide picture of the true stock price in the future or for a particular company. So we use both these models to give the user a definitive recommendation about the stock. The technologies that have been used to create this project are as follows. For the front end, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and PHP have been used to create the web application. The machine learning and the sentiment analysis models have been coded in Python, while Flask is been running at the back end and used to coordinate with the front end. The database which stores the user details consists of the MySQL database. Before starting with the implementation of the application, it is important to have a flowchart mapped out in order to have an idea of how the application should look like. So this flowchart consists of all the features of the application, which I will discuss in the coming slides. Three different machine learning models have been used in this application, and the first one we look at is linear regression. So the steps used to perform linear regression are as follows. We extract all the data from the Yahoo Finance library. For the second step, we add the relevant technical indicators, which is the closing price in this case. For the third step, we ensure that there are no null values and perform data cleaning and pre-processing so that we can get accurate results. The fourth step is to split the data into train and test subset, and this is done in an 80:20 ratio. Finally, we train and test the model to obtain the results for linear regression model. On the right, we can get an idea of the final model and the actual output, where the red line shows the actual price of the Apple stock, whereas the blue line shows the predicted price using our model. The second model we look at is the Lstm model. The steps taken to implement this model are as follows. The first step is to import the relevant Keras library modules, which have been used to implement this module. Then we reshape the data to three-dimensional, which also includes the time step. This would enable us to look at previous time steps and help us to make more accurate predictions. The third step is to use sequential models and add layers to the Lstm model. Dropouts have also been implemented to reduce the overfitting problem and therefore improve the model performance. Lastly, we fit the X train and the Y train to carry out the prediction process. On the right, we can see the graph of the actual versus predicted price and can notice the two lines are closer as compared to the linear regression model. This signifies that the Lstm model performs better than the linear regression model. The final model we look at is the Arima model. The steps taken to implement this model are as follows. Firstly, we import the libraries for this model as we have done for the previous ones. The stats model is an important library which is used to carry out the prediction process using Arima. Second step is to divide the data into training and test dataset in an 80:20 ratio respectively. Then we set the three hyperparameters after intensive testing. The p variable refers to the parameter of the lag observations in the model, which is also called the lag order. D refers to the parameter of degree of differencing, that is, the number of times the raw observations are differenced. And finally, Q is the size of the moving average window also known as order of the moving average. Then the model is prepared by calling the fit function on the training data. We also make use of the forecast function, which performs a one-step forecast using the model. Rolling forecast is essential due to the dependence on observations in previous time steps. This project recreates the Arima model after each new observation is received. Finally, observations are stored in a list called as history, which is seeded with the training data. The new observations are appended to this list in each iteration. On the right-hand side, we can see the graph of actual versus predicted price for Apple stock, and we can observe that the Arima model is able to do a very good job at predicting the price. So now let's compare the three models we have discussed in a more quantitative way. The three ways that have been used in this project to measure the model are root mean square error or RMSE, MAE or mean absolute error, and MAPE or mean absolute percentage error. The lower these three values, the better the model performs. As we can see, the Arima model performs consistently better than the two other models we have used. Therefore, we will be using the Arima model in the final prediction process and while giving our recommendation to the user. Now, let's have a look at the implementation of the sentiment analysis model. For this model, we have used the text blob and the TWEP libraries, and the steps are as follows. We import these mentioned libraries into our model. Then we need authentication from Twitter in order to extract the tweets for a particular company. Then we get the tweets of a particular company, and this is based on what the user wants to see. So for example, if I want to see prediction for Apple, then all the tweets related to Apple will be extracted in the last 24 hours. After that, certain cleaning procedures would be performed for us to accurately perform the sentiment analysis. And then we are able to output the result. So on the right-hand side, we can see the sentiment analysis for Apple, and we can see that there is a mostly positive sentiment in the community about this particular company. And this also plays a major role in our recommendation model. In order to give a final recommendation to the user as to what they should do with the particular stock, we make use of both the machine learning and the sentiment analysis model outputs. And they are done in the following manner. So if the predicted price using the Arima model is greater than the current stock price and the sentiment is positive for the particular company, then we give our recommendation to buy the stock. However, if the predicted price is greater than the stock price, but there is a negative sentiment in the market around the company, then we recommend the user to sell the stock. This proves the power of news-based analysis and prediction models. And if there is something negative about the company going around, there is a likelihood of the stock price dropping. Finally, if the predicted price is less than the current stock price, then automatically we tell the user to sell the stock. A snippet of how the recommendation looks in the application is also shown. Now, let's have a look at the design of the application through various screenshots. The first page the user will be redirected to when they open the application is the home page. From here, they can log into their existing account or also create a new account with our application. This page also provides a glimpse of the services that have been offered by this application in order to entice the user to create an account. The user can either create a new account with our application or log in using the existing credentials. All the user credentials are stored in the backend in the MySQL database. Upon successful login, the user is redirected to the dashboard page. Over here, the user can view a lot of information about various stocks. The image on the left shows a wide variety of stocks and their various stock prices such as open price, high price, etc. Also on the right hand side, there have been various graphs displayed of various top companies which shows the trend of stock prices. The user can use that in order to get an idea of the trend of the stock price as well. On the right hand side image, we can see some various advanced indicators that have been provided. These have been specifically provided for people who already have an advanced knowledge about the stock market and just want to see some advanced technical or financial indicators. The user is given the permission to filter various stocks on the basis of these advanced indicators. Now, this is how the stock prediction page looks like. Prior to this, the user is prompted to give their input for the stock they actually want to view the prediction for. For this example, we typed Apple as the input, and this is the output we are able to view. On the left-hand side, we are able to view the various stock prices, along with the Arima model graphs, which was our best performing model. On the right-hand side, we also performed sentiment analysis for this particular input stock. And at the bottom, we are giving our final recommendation based on the output of both the machine learning and the sentiment analysis model. The user is also given the option to add various stocks into their portfolio. This is the My Portfolio page where all users can view their respective portfolios. All details about the portfolio are stored in the MySQL database. Finally, here is a demonstration video of me using the Stock Gains application in order to give a much more clear idea of how to use this application. Thank you. Hello. So let me now present you the demo for Stock Gains. This is the home page, which is the first page that will be viewed by the user, and they can see a glimpse of the services that have been offered by the application. If they want to know a bit more details about the features, they can click on the About button in the nav bar and get to know a bit more about the actual features offered by Stock Gains. I will be going through these features one by one. So let's start by creating an account. So after clicking on the register page, we are redirected to the member registration page where let me key in my details and let me enter my ID. So for the password, I have made it a requirement that the user needs to enter a password of at least 8 characters where there is at least one lowercase, one uppercase, and one numerical. This is done to ensure security of the password. So now we can see that our account has been created and we can log into the application. So over here, now let's just use the email and the password that I just typed in to log in to the application. So we click on login and now we will be redirected to the dashboard page, which in my opinion is the most important page of the application. The dashboard page acts as a bridge between all the features in this application. So below we can see various stocks and all their properties and prices such as value, change, open, high, etc. On the right hand side, we can also see the graph, which signifies how the stock price has changed over time. So if we click on one day, we can see how the price of the Apple stock changed yesterday. So this can be done for various time periods, including for the time since the earliest data is available for this particular company. So this has been extracted from the Yahoo Finance website. Below is another table that has been given, which is for people who are already familiar with stocks and the stock market. This has been extracted from the tradingview.com website and contains a wide variety of advanced financial and technical indicators that the user can use in order to filter various stocks according to their needs. Stock Gains also provides certain resources for beginners who want to enter the stock market. So over here, some information about stocks and the market have been given, especially in the form of videos that can be played by the particular user. So this has been done to try and eradicate the fear that sometimes beginners have while entering the stock market. So now let's go and predict the future, which makes use of the sentiment analysis and the machine learning models. So here we have to enter a stock symbol for which we want the particular prediction. For example, I want to have a look at the Apple stock in the coming days. And I also want to see a recommendation whether I should buy the stock or sell the stock if I possess it. So let's type the company stock symbol, which is AAPL in Apple's case. Now, a lot of things would be happening simultaneously at the back end, and I will be guiding you through the process. So currently, as we can see, the data for Apple's stock is being picked up from the back end by using Python. And we can see that various prediction models, including ARIMA and RMSE, are being used in order to predict the price. I've only set 25 epochs in order for the prediction to occur in order to save time. Now do note, we are able to see the closing price prediction by linear regression model as well. So at this page, we are able to view a lot of information about the stock, such as open price, high price, and low price, among others. We are also able to see the trend in the Apple stock price in the form of graphs, while we can also visualize how well the three machine learning models are performing over here. Below, we can see what tomorrow's predicted price is according to the three machine learning models and also find out the RMSE values, which gives us an indication of how well the model is performing. As mentioned before, the lower the RMSE value, the better the model, and therefore the Arima model performs the best. Here are some of the tweets that have been extracted from Twitter that have been posted about Apple. And below we can see, according to the sentiment analysis, that the overall polarity and sentiment seems to be positive. Therefore, according to our predicted model, since the price is expected to go up and the sentiment seems to be positive in the market, therefore the user should be buying the stock in order to maximize their profits. Now, we also want to provide the user the option to buy the stocks according to our recommendation. So at the top of the page, here is a buy stock now button, which the user can click and say, I want to buy 10 stocks based on the recommendation because I'm feeling good based on the machine learning and the sentiment analysis predictions. So here I click on buy stock and we see that these stocks get added to our portfolio. Finally, there's also a contact us option where the user can submit feedback about this application. This concludes the demo for my final year project, Stock Gains, and I really hope you had as much fun watching this application as I had in creating it. Thank you.